Hi, I'm Lydia. 2 months ago, my fiance Jake proposed after 5 years together, and I was over the moon. We'd been planning our engagement party for weeks, coordinating with the venue, sending invitations, and I'd even splurged on a new dress that made me feel like $1 million. Is everything set for Saturday? My best friend Olivia asked over coffee 3 days before the big event. Absolutely. Dad rented the back room at Bellini's. Said it's his gift to us, I replied, stirring my latte. He's finally coming through on something important to me. Olivia raised an eyebrow. That's surprising, considering how he usually is with you versus your sister. I know, right? Maybe he's turning over a new leaf. Even Maddie seems excited. She's been texting me about her outfit all week. Just remember, Olivia leaned forward, this is your day. Don't let anyone steal your spotlight. I laughed. It'll be fine. Dad promised everything's taken care of. Saturday morning, I was getting my makeup done when my phone buzzed. Hello? Lydia, it's Dad. His voice sounded strained. There's been a change of plans. I felt my stomach drop. What kind of change? We need to reschedule the party. Something's come up. Reschedule? Dad, people are already traveling here. What happened? A pause. Your sister had a hair emergency. They completely ruined her highlights. She's devastated, absolutely inconsolable. I gripped the phone tighter. And that means canceling my engagement party? She can't possibly attend looking like this, and we can't have a family celebration without your sister. Can't she wear a hat or reschedule her own plans instead of mine? Don't be selfish, Lydia. You know how sensitive Maddie is about her appearance? Dad, the party starts in 2 hours. I have already called the restaurant. We'll reschedule for next month. What about all our friends who've traveled? Jake's parents flew in from Seattle? I'm sure they'll understand. Family comes first. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My engagement celebration isn't family? Don't make this difficult, Lydia. I've got to go. Your sister needs me to drive her to another salon across town. The line went dead. I sat there, stunned, my half-made-up face staring back at me in the mirror. My phone buzzed again. Jake calling. Hey, you won't believe what just happened, I said, my voice shaking. Your dad called me, Jake replied, his voice tight with anger. He canceled the party because your sister had a bad hair day? Is he serious? Apparently a hair emergency trumps our engagement. This is insane, Lydia. My parents just checked into their hotel. The doorbell rang, Olivia arriving to help me finish getting ready. I have to go, I told Jake. Olivia's here, and I still need to call everyone else. When I opened the door, Olivia took one look at my face and said, What happened? Dad canceled the party, I said, the words still not feeling real. Maddie had a bad hair appointment, and apparently that's more important than my engagement celebration. Olivia's mouth fell open. He did what? As I explained, I watched her expression shift from shock to outrage. That's it, she declared, pulling out her phone. This is the last time he pulls this garbage. Let me call your Aunt Carol. Your Aunt Carol will be here in 20, Olivia said, pocketing her phone. She's furious. I sank onto the couch. I can't believe this is happening. Has your sister called you? Jake asked, pacing my living room after rushing over. Not even a text. Typical, Olivia muttered. Remember your college graduation? When they left early because Maddie had a headache? Or my 25th birthday, I added. Dad rescheduled my dinner because Maddie had concert tickets. Jake sat beside me, taking my hand. You've never told me about all this. It's embarrassing, I admitted. Who wants to say their dad consistently chooses their sister over them? A firm knock at the door announced Aunt Carol's arrival. My father's sister had always been straight-talking and had little patience for my dad's behavior. So it happened again, she said, hugging me tightly. Your father has outdone himself this time. I don't understand why he does this, I said. Am I not important enough? Aunt Carol sat across from me. This pattern started after your mom died. Robert couldn't handle 2 daughters on his own, so he focused on the squeaky wheel. Maddie, I supplied. Exactly. She learned early that tantrums got attention, while you learned to be self-sufficient. He took advantage of that. So I'm punished for being low maintenance? No, honey. Your father failed you, not the other way around. Jake squeezed my hand. What do we do now? We have 30 people with nowhere to go. My phone buzzed with a text from my father. Venue will refund deposit. We'll reschedule when things calm down. I showed the others. Olivia snorted. When things calm down, like it's your fault? Has he always been this obvious about the favoritism? Jake asked Aunt Carol. Always, she confirmed. When the girls were 12, he took Maddie to Disney World while Lydia stayed with me because Maddie had good grades that semester. Even though I was on the honor roll every year, I added. I remember that, said Olivia. You pretended it didn't bother you. I've been doing that my whole life, I realized. Something shifting inside me. Making excuses for them both. Jake's parents called, and I stepped out to explain the situation. When I returned, Aunt Carol was on her phone. Maria? It's Carol Winters. Are you still catering these days? She winked at me. I need a small event covered today. Emergency basis. What are you doing? I asked. Fixing this, she replied. Your father isn't the only one with connections in this town. Olivia jumped up. I know where we can host. My cousin manages that new gallery downtown. They have cancellations all the time. For the first time that day, I felt a spark of hope. You guys would do that for me? In a heartbeat, Jake said. You deserve to be celebrated, Lydia. And after this, Aunt Carol added, we're having a serious conversation about boundaries with your father and sister. I'm not sure I'm ready for that confrontation, I admitted. You've been ready for years, Olivia countered. You've just been afraid of losing them. But honey, you can't lose what you never really had. Her words stung with truth. It's time, Jake said gently. We're starting our own family now. You need to decide what kind of relationship you want with them going forward. I nodded, something resolute forming inside me. You're right. This ends today. 4 hours later, our improvised engagement party was in full swing at the downtown gallery. Aunt Carol had worked miracles with her catering connections, and Olivia's cousin had cleared the space for us. Jake's parents had been understanding and supportive, helping rearrange everything on short notice. My phone buzzed again, my 4th missed call from Dad. This time, I answered. Lydia, where are you? I've been calling for hours. I'm at my engagement party, I replied calmly. What? I told you we canceled. No, Dad. You canceled your version of it. We arranged our own. A long pause. Without your sister. Or me? Yes. That's completely inappropriate. We're your family. Family shows up, Dad. Family puts others first sometimes. Put your aunt on the phone. I know she put you up to this. This was my decision. And I think we need to talk in person. Can you come to my apartment tomorrow at noon? I don't like your tone, Lydia. You've never been disrespectful before. It's not disrespect to have boundaries. Tomorrow at noon, Dad. I hung up, heart racing but feeling stronger than I had in years. Jake approached with 2 champagne flutes. Everything okay? It will be, I said, taking the glass. Dad's coming over tomorrow to talk. Want me there? No, this is something I need to handle myself. The next day, precisely at noon, my doorbell rang. Dad stood there looking annoyed with Maddie surprisingly in tow. Her hair looked perfectly fine. Come in, I said, stepping aside. This rebellion isn't like you. Dad started immediately. That's not why I asked you here. Your sister was very hurt to learn you had the party without her. Maddie nodded dramatically. I would have come even with my hair disaster. Which seems completely fixed now, I observed. I found an emergency stylist, she sniffed. Cost a fortune. Sit down, please. I gestured to the couch. We need to talk about a pattern that's gone on too long. What pattern? Dad asked defensively. The pattern where Maddie's smallest inconveniences outweigh my major life events. That's ridiculous. Is it? You canceled my engagement celebration 2 hours before it started because of a hair appointment. It was a disaster, Maddie interjected. I had orange streaks. And that's more important than my engagement? You're being selfish, Maddie retorted. Do you know how mortified I would have been? Mortified? What about how I felt calling 30 guests to tell them my own father canceled my engagement party because my sister had a bad dye job? Dad raised his hand. That's enough, Lydia. I made a judgment call. A bad one, I interrupted. One in a long series of bad calls that always favor Maddie. That's not true, Dad insisted. Then name one important event of mine that you prioritized over something Maddie wanted. Dad shifted uncomfortably. This isn't about comparing. It absolutely is, I persisted. Because there isn't one, is there? Maddie rolled her eyes. Oh, please, you're always the perfect daughter. You don't get to play victim now. I was the perfect daughter because I had to be. I learned early that any needs I had would be ignored if they conflicted with yours. Dad sighed. You're making this bigger than it needs to be. No, I'm finally acknowledging how big it's always been. This isn't an isolated incident. This is my entire life. Oh, here we go with the victim routine, Maddie rolled her eyes. It's not a routine to state facts. When have you ever had something important canceled for my sake? Silence filled the room. That's what I thought, I continued. I'm not asking for apologies or promises to change. I'm telling you both that I won't accept this treatment anymore. Meaning what exactly? Dad demanded. Meaning I'm setting boundaries. I won't drop everything when Maddie has a crisis. I won't pretend it's okay when you cancel my events. And I won't keep quiet to keep the peace. So you're choosing your fiancé's family over your own? Maddie accused. I'm choosing to be around people who value me. If that includes you, wonderful. If not, that's your choice. You can't be serious, Dad said, looking genuinely shocked. I've never been more serious. I deserve better than being an afterthought in my own family. The weeks following our confrontation brought significant changes. Dad attempted to call several times, leaving messages that ranged from defensive to conciliatory. Maddie sent a text that read simply, "You're being dramatic, but whatever." Neither showed genuine understanding of the problem. Jake and I were having dinner with Aunt Carol when the subject came up again. Your father called me yesterday, she mentioned, passing the salad. Wanted to know if I'd talked sense into you yet? What did you tell him? I asked. That you already had plenty of sense. He just never bothered to notice. Jake laughed. I'm starting to see where Lydia gets her backbone from. It was always there, Aunt Carol replied. Just needed some encouragement to show itself. My phone buzzed with a text from Dad. I've reserved Bellini's for next Saturday. Time to put this nonsense behind us. I showed the others. He still doesn't get it. Are you going to respond? Jake asked. Yes, but not with what he's expecting. I typed, I won't be attending. Any reconciliation starts with acknowledging the pattern, not pretending nothing happened. Aunt Carol nodded approvingly. How does it feel to stand your ground? Terrifying, liberating, necessary. 3 days later, Olivia called with surprising news. You won't believe this. Your dad just called me. What? Why? He wanted to know what he did wrong. Said he's completely confused by your behavior. What did you tell him? The truth! That he's been putting Maddie first your entire life and you finally had enough. How did he take it? He went quiet for a long time, then asked for examples. I gave him about 20. Later that evening, Dad showed up at my door unannounced. Can I come in? He asked, looking uncomfortable. I hesitated before stepping aside. I've been doing some thinking, he began awkwardly, settling on the edge of the sofa. After talking with your friend? Olivia called me. She gave me quite an earful. He fidgeted with his watch. Made me remember some things I'd conveniently forgotten. Like what? Like missing your lead in the school play because Maddie had a soccer game? Or rescheduling your birthday dinner 3 times? I stayed silent, waiting. I didn't see the pattern, he continued. Or maybe I didn't want to. It hurt, Dad. Every single time. I know that now. He looked up. After your mother died, Maddie was so loud with her grief. You were so composed. I thought you were okay. I learned to be okay because I had to be. I failed you, he admitted. And I'm truly sorry. The apology caught me off guard. What happens now? That's up to you. I'd like a chance to do better, but I understand if it's too late. A week later, Maddie unexpectedly showed up at my door. Dad says I need to talk to you, she said, arms crossed defensively. Come in, I offered, surprised. She perched on the edge of a chair. So apparently, I've been the favorite child. That's not exactly how I'd put it. Dad showed me a list of all the times he canceled your stuff for my stuff. She looked uncomfortable. It's a long list. Yes, it is. I didn't realize, she said quietly. I just thought, I don't know, that my needs were more important. Because that's what we were both taught. I'm not good at apologies, she said stiffly. I've noticed. A hint of a smile. Can we maybe start over? Not as rivals? I'd like that, I said, meaning it. 2 months later, Jake and I hosted a dinner party at our apartment. Dad arrived early to help set up, something he'd never done before. Maddie texted she's running late, he mentioned, arranging glasses. Traffic on the bridge. That's fine, I replied. We'll wait for her. I wouldn't have done that before, he acknowledged. Waited for you, I mean. I know. I'm trying, Lydia. I can see that, Dad. Aunt Carol arrived, eyebrows rising at the sight of Dad in an apron. Well, this is new. Never too late to learn, he said with a tentative smile. Maddie arrived 20 minutes later, slightly flustered but carrying a bouquet. For the hostess, she said, handing me the flowers. Sorry I'm late. Did I miss anything? We waited for you, I said, watching surprise register on her face. Really? You didn't have to do that. That's what family does, I replied simply. As everyone gathered around the table, Jake raised his glass. To new beginnings and better boundaries? And to standing up for yourself, Olivia added with a wink. I looked around at the people who truly supported me, including my father and sister who were trying, really trying, for the first time. Our wedding planning was underway now, with both Dad and Maddie respectfully following my lead instead of making demands. The road ahead wouldn't be perfect, but it would be different. Better. To becoming the main character in my own life, I said, raising my glass. And for once, that felt completely true. And to family, Dad added quietly. The kind that shows up for each other, not just in crisis, but every day. We clinked glasses, the sound like a promise of things to come.